braids in a little over a month, and this is everything I wish I knew before I got braids done, because I thought I was doing research, but I obviously wasn't doing enough research. So I'm making the video for people who are also considering getting braids. So number one, I got 200 grams of synthetic hair the first time. It was way too much hair. I already have, I wouldn't say the thickest hair, but I already have like a good amount of hair on my head, and my hair is already naturally pretty long. So getting 200 grams of additional hair on top of that, it being synthetic, it was super heavy on my head, super heavy on my scalp, and just a lot of hair in general. I ended up cutting a lot of the hair out because it was just too much. And then I also went back in and I was like, we need to decrease this hair, and they cut more hair out, and it was still too much hair. Versus I now have 100 grams of real hair. And so my comparison between synthetic hair also and real hair, I love real hair. It's only my third day with this set, but it just feels so much more natural, just a lot lighter, and it just feels good on my scalp. I also didn't know whether to get box braids or knotless. I didn't know to even really search that. So when she asked, do you want knotless or do you want box? I was like, I don't know. So she picked box, and that was so much tighter on my scalp. And this just feels, again, so much lighter. It's easier to flip my hair back and forth, and it just looks more natural. She also asked me, the second braider asked me what size I wanted for these, if I wanted medium or large, which again, when she asked me that, I also didn't even know what she was talking about. And really, it's just these sections. How big do you want these sections? I was like, oh, I want these sections as small as possible. I also was feeling a little bit courageous, and I was like, why don't we do highlights the very first time I did it? Not recognizing that because you're putting 200 grams of synthetic hair on top of all of my naturally darker hair, it's not really going to look like highlights. It really looked like the overall color of my hair was that lighter brown color, which is not what I was looking for, but I also didn't know how it was going to come out. And if I would have really thought that through, I would have just stuck to my natural hair color. So this time around, I was like, we're just doing natural hair color. I don't want to add any color that isn't mine. And it just looks, to me personally, like it suits me so much more. I also personally prefer having the straight versus the curly for the boho braids. These are boho, so you can see that they're braided, but then there's pieces coming out, which is what makes it that boho style. But it just looks like more naturally straight with some braids in it, and that's what I was looking for, versus like braids with these curly pieces, braids with the curly pieces. I personally feel like this just looks more like what I wanted the first time, but didn't know how to ask. I also was so specific when I went in there. I said, I want to be able to put my hair up in a ponytail. I want to be able to put it up in a bun. I want to be able to style it this way, and that way. So however we end up doing this, I want to make sure that the end product allows me to do that. And she was like, yes, I got you. Luckily, the first time they did this without me asking, but realizing how important this is the second time around,